Good morning, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. The sun is just peeking up over the clouds, and we are going to be getting ready here to talk a little bit about the tower. If you are new to the channel, do hit that subscribe button. It is really important for me. We are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers, and it's one of the easiest things right now you can do to support me. If you have never heard about the tower before, the tower is an event that's going to be coming here in the near future. It's released side by side with Rain, and to give you the quick summary and the quick rundown, the tower is essentially a 20 floor it's a 20 floor challenge, and you can use any of your units, any of your cards, any of your espers, and as you go up, the resources that you used are used up. So for example, if Engelbert gets hit for 500 damage, on the next floor, he is not going to have that 500 HP. So as you go up, your resources are going to be dwindled, and it is something that a lot of you are excited for. I know I think it's probably the most exciting content to come out in War of the Visions, and I personally can't wait to check it out. So let's jump in and examine what exactly the tower is going to require from you and what you should be planning for ahead of time. So the first question I think most people have been asking is, when is the tower coming? If you've been in the far plane at all since the last update, you do see that they did add in the porcelain tower here, and it was chained up. So we do know it's going to be coming in the near future. Now, looking at Haddison's sort of release date guide here, we know that the tower in JP came when Rain came. Currently, we are on the week of Victoria, and you'll notice here there's almost a month gap between when Victoria was released and when Rain came out. There's two banners in between then. There's the Venera banner, and then there's the two-headed dragon banner. And if I were a betting man, I think it's likely that the Rain or the Tower event is going to come sooner than we expected. If they do maintain the release schedule, it's probably going to be early July or a little bit mid-July. I think they probably, unless they do a repeat banner of some type and they try to draw it out just a little bit in between here, I think we could see Rain coming out by mid-July, and I think we'll probably be getting Tower by then as well, since we are on a little bit of an accelerated global schedule. Now, why do you want to do Tower? Well, besides having awesome rewards like tickets, it gives a free 10-pull ticket, you get Visior, you're also going to be getting Rain's Greatsword weapon, and this weapon is high magic. It also has a chance to lower the defense on enemies when it's used. So once it's fully awakened, it's a very unique sword. Of course, it's going to be great for Rain whenever you pull him. And overall, it's something great to have in your toolkit. It is a UR greatsword, and not to mention, it's pretty fun and it's completely free as long as you can beat and clear Tower, which I think most people will be able to do. Now, taking a look at the Tower content, we have a whole variety of pictures here, and the one thing y'all are going to notice is that there's sort of themes to each of the tower floors. This picture up here in the upper right hand image is from the very first floor on Tower, and you notice they're all lightning elements. You notice in this room they're all ice element lancers. In this room they're wolves and their dogs and their water element, and then you can see we got ogres up here as well. So as you ascend the tower, you will be facing not only humans, you'll be facing monsters. You'll be facing specialized enemies. So this might mean you walk into a match and all of a sudden you find yourself up against Ziza and Stern. And yes, they are going to use all of their abilities that they would normally use. And of course, they're going to have a whole host of attributes that are potentially going to make them more of a pain in the ass. So when we're thinking about preparing right now, we're a couple months out. There's a couple things I think we can do to make it easier for ourselves. And one of those is to invest in a lot of the low tier cards right now to make our job easier when we get to Tower. So the cards that I'm thinking of are going to be, of course, Malevolent Beast Behemoth, and I think this is the first time I've ever recommended this card. Not only does he give the party ability piercing attack resistance plus 15, he also has Beast Killer plus 10. He could be potentially very viable if you are going to be going up against a lot of beasts, and almost all of you guys, particularly if you're whales, probably have enough to max this card out really quickly. Admirer's Rivalry, of course, with the Earth Killer plus 20. So powerful when you go up against the Earth rooms. I think Beguiling Witch with Reaper Killer plus 25 and party ability effective cast time minus 30. There is going to be tons of skeleton enemies. There is going to be tons of Reaper class enemies. All of this stuff is easy for you to max out and easy to help prepare you for tower. Of course, if you don't have a level 99 character, you're probably going to want to do that first. But even cards like Zoo, which you would probably never consider using, with Avian Killer plus 20, they become completely viable. So there's a whole bunch of different strategies that enter into this that really make Tower exciting. It really brings out your whole toolkit. Things you thought you would never use suddenly become the best card for your character depending on what floor you're going to be pushing on. Now, one thing to really keep in mind as well is the sub-jobs of your units are going to be critical. Keeping track of your unit's abilities are also going to be critical. As you ascend the floors, you're not going to be able to use Ayaka's Limit Break 50 million times. You're not going to be able to use Sentinel 50 million times. You are going to be relying on all of your units, the limited use of their abilities, and you're going to have to figure out how to make that work. That's going to involve maybe starting at the lower level of the floors with a team that maybe is not your main team. Maybe it's your B team. The first floors are level 20. You probably have units that are level 40 that you never thought you would ever be using, but it might be time to put them in and have them take out the first couple floors for you. Keep your strong team strong and really just decimate those lower floors with your weak fodder units. Honestly, a lot of you probably have tons of EXP cubes in order to support and level units just randomly. The EXP cubes have level limits. I don't know about everyone, but I have a shit ton of bronze EXP cubes everywhere. So things to think about there, thinking about what type of team you're going to level. Maybe you should get some JP on your lower tier mug only thieves, for example. You're not going to need to have an army of level 99s to do this, but as long as you think smart now, think about the little things like acquiring JP on lesser used characters, you're really going to bring out your account strength in this event significantly more. And yes, there are stories of people who have cleared this with just 5 UR units or 5 MR units, and of course that's going to be possible, but it's sort of the rarity, right? It's not going to be the normal. So anything you can do to make your life easier in this is going to be great. And you do have to push all the way up at least twice. And I think on the second round, you have to hit the 15th floor in order to get enough tokens to level up Rain Sword, the Crimson Saber, to maximum. Now, some important notes. You can refresh your team, and there is a button. Let's say you get to floor 18 and you're just all your units are dead. They're taken care of. There is a 24-hour refresh button. You're gonna see a lot of people reference the 48-hour refresh button. So the story behind this is when Tower was first released in JP, the reset button was a 48-hour button where you could hit it and then you would wait 48 hours and your characters would all be fully healed. Well, they changed that in JP and they changed it to a wait 24 hours. So I think it's highly likely when the Tower comes in global, we're not going to have the 48-hour button. We're going to have the 24-hour button for resetting your characters. So even if you don't have a ton of units or you're finding yourself struggling on Tower, as long as you're continuing to push it, as long as you have a maximum level team or even a team of level 80s, you should be able to at least clear this content. Another really important thing to note is that the enemies are not standard enemies that you would be fighting. Depending on the floor that you go to, the enemies are going to have different resistances and different debuffs. This skeleton, for example, of course, because he's dark element, he's going to be weak to light. That just makes sense. What's abnormal, though, is that he has 50% resistance, pretty much 40%, to every other element. Not only that, look at all of the resistance he has to slashing, piercing, blunt, and missile. These units are not normal. They do have adjusted values that can wreck you. So even if you're facing a whole horde of level 50 skeletons that are all dark element and you're like, oh, I have my level 99 team, this is going to be no problem. Well, if your level 99 team is all piercing units and they're all ice units, they're already going to be mitigating your damage so much. Not only that, they're going to be able to chain on you. You are going to die. So while I don't have the full list of every single floor and what the weaknesses and resistances are, I do have that information, but I'm not putting it in this video because we're going to break it down in 10 floor sections when we get closer to tower. And we're going to talk about what units to bring on what floor, what advantages you're going to need, and really what you need to be aware of. Not only are the monsters more difficult, the map layouts are more difficult. So you see these pictures on the bottom here. This is actually the same map, and we haven't actually had much of this in War of the Visions, where you actually have two separate deployment camps. So you can see up here they have Ayaka and Stern, and then below they have their team down here. And basically, this team up here has to hold off, and then look at all of these enemies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 enemies on the map. And not only that, they are not going to be able to get support from the bottom team. So if you didn't know this going in up here, if you put all of your weak enemies or weak allies up here on the top, you're going to get decimated up here. If you don't know how to hold on to this choke point here, you'll get surrounded. There's a lot of things in tower which really bring out just the strategy, which I really am excited for. Now, as you're climbing the tower, you are also going to get access to certain EX maps right here. And when the EX maps pop, they are like any sort of EX event, except they are separate. So you do not need to worry. Your characters will go into the EX maps no matter what at full HP and full health. It's kind of like you just unlocked a separate EX trial, and your characters are fine and you can just go in there and do whatever you need to do. You are going to get rainbow fragments from this, and they are going to be very difficult tier content. We're talking difficult in terms of probably harder than Iron Giant, especially once you get to the harder levels. There is a whole host of strategies for them on Ultima, and I can tell you we'll probably be doing multiple videos about it as we get closer to the tower release date. Well, that was it, you guys. We are at the end of the video. I thought that I had at least one more slide for you. Oh, well, we are still learning how to be a YouTuber, hashtag NewTuber. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I do appreciate it. As always, if you are planning on buying Visior, please do use my Amazon coin affiliate link, dig.gs/coins. It is one of the easiest ways to support me and also save some money on Visior yourself. Of course, you can always join my Discord, come say hi, you can come check out the comments down in the YouTube section, and you can always check me out on stream. I do stream every single night except for Mondays and Thursdays, usually between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Pacific time. I do start on 8 p.m. some nights. I do have a set schedule on my Discord. So come check me out, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.